All right, so the next step, now that we have our search filter and our filter by categories, now we want to be able to send the user, if they click on the view product button, whether here or any of the other pages on the site, over to view that single product on a separate page. All right, so that's what we're going to work on right now. So let's go ahead and go to my notes. All right, so the first step is we're going to add the route to view product link in the cart component. All right, so the cart component is what we've been making use of to display the products. So over here in the cart component, now that we want to go to this condition here, which displays to us the link and a button for view product and add to cart. If we go over here to view cart to the link for view product, beneath it, no, that's not that. Actually, right here, the to attribute, we're going to change this right here, and we're going to point it to product / and then we're going to actually have to pass the ID. So we're going to have to use some JavaScript and use backticks. So over here, we're going to pass product. And again, remember that here, we're able to use this product because we're actually looping, or rather this component receives the product from its parent component. So we have access to the product. And we do product._ID. Save this. And let's see. All right, so that should take care of the first step. All right, next is we want to add the route to the app component. And the app component is where we have our front-end routing system pretty much. So what I can do here is actually, let me import that first. Let's do it right here. I'm going to copy this, paste below. And the component is going to end up being called product. And I'm going to copy the route for the shop, paste below. There's going to be product and then / the ID, do : product ID. All right, that's what's going to be passed as a parameter that when the user clicks on view product. And we're going to have to make use of that product ID once it arrives to the product component and extract it to later on receive that specific data for the product from the back end. All right, and the component is going to be product. All right, so that's that. Next is we're going to set up the product component. All right, so here I'm going to create a new file called product.js. Let's go ahead, import React from React. Const product export default product. Here I'm gonna return, just for now we're gonna return, actually a section tag, just like so, and give it a class name of product page and margin top and bottom 4. All right, let me just add some dummy text here. Say inside product component, and I'm gonna go back here, and if I click view product, we should be redirected to, as you can see, inside product component. And if you pay attention to the URL, look, it has the product and / and that specific product ID. All right, So that's good. All right, set a product component, fetch product ID from params. All right, so let me mark this off. So the next step is to fetch the product ID inside the params. All right, so the way we're gonna do that is, because we are using this routing system here in the app.js, or using React Router DOM, automatically we get some data available to us. We can destructure a few things. The first thing I'm going to need here is something called match, and match is going to allow me to retrieve parameters in the URL. And another thing later on that we're going to make use of is it was called the history object, and that's going to allow us to do some redirecting. All right, so those two things I want you to destructure. All right, so let's go ahead and grab that URL, that product ID. Let's see. All right, so the way I want to do this is, let's see, let's see here. I'm going to destructure from match.params. And from this params object, I'm going to grab the product ID. All right, and what I want to do is I want to do a console log here and make sure that it works. So I'm going to save that. I'm currently in the shop page, and I'm going to pull up my console here. So if I click on view products, say for turkey burger, it's going to redirect me. And in the console, you see we get our product ID, which also matches what you see here in the URL. So we do indeed have the product ID that's stored in this variable here. All right, so let me remove this here. All right, so next step is, let's see, so fetch product ID in the params. We took care of that. And now is to fetch the product using the use effect. So going back to the product ID, so what we're gonna make use of use effect. So grab use effect here, and also dispatch. But dispatch is going to be coming from React Router. So import from React, or React Redux, I should say. And that's going to be use dispatch and also use selector. Another thing we're going to have to import is our action function, which is going to it's called a get product. Let me make sure here. Delete here. Let me go into my Redux folder, actions and product actions. What's it called? All right, here. This is the action function I want to grab. It's called get product, and we pass along as an argument the product ID, and this will go to the backend and fetch that one product based on that ID. All right, so it's called get product. So import that. Import from. See, we're gonna have to go back one directory, go into the Redux folder, actions, and product actions, and it was called get product. Now we can use effect. All right, so use effect has this callback, and let me add my dependencies, and I know we're going to use dispatch, so pass dispatch, and well, let's see, let's go ahead and dispatch our function. So we're going to do dispatch get product, and it takes in the argument of a product ID, and we do have it here, so pass it along. So that will dispatch and get our product from the backend and store it into our Redux global state. Also as a dependency is add product ID. Oh, all right, so you see we get an error here. It's called dispatch is not defined. All right, we're gonna have to get dispatch and store it in a variable. So use dispatch. There you go. All right, so this error should be gone. There you go. All right, so fetch product with use effect. Good. All right, next step is fetch the product with use selector. So now that we use the use effect and to fetch the product, it is being stored in the Redux global state. But now we're going to use selector to grab that product from the Redux global state and actually bring it into the component. So we'll do that right over here. We're gonna do let's see, call use selector state and state dot products, and we're gonna remove the product. All right, so let me show you. If we go to Redux folder, go to our reducers for product. If you look over here, the constant for get product, that's what we're using. The action payload is going to be stored in a variable called product. So that's what I'm doing in the product component, is I'm retrieving the product. All right, so now we should have a product available to us. Let me let's see here. Let me do a JSON dot. Let me do a JSON dot stringify and product. Well, actually, no. Let me do something else. Let me do this condition here. I'm gonna say if product, then JSON dot stringify the product. Let's go back, and you see here we have a product, a single product. And for this current one, you see that has the last four numbers 1382. So if I go back, oh, all right, so we get, all right, so we're getting an error when we click on the back link. Now this is going to be an issue also. Also, if later on when I add I'm going to add a back button to the product page, and even if I was not to use the browser's back button, but also the link that's on our component, we would get an error like this. And if you see this error, the reason why is because if we go to, let's see, if we go here to the shop page, which is where Alex, sorry about that. Sorry about, got my brother's dog in the background. All right, so so over here in the shop component, let's see, where we're displaying the products is right over here. All right, and you see that I'm not even checking to see if there's products that exist. So this is where the error is happening. So to resolve that, what we're going to do is we're first going to check if products exist in the first place, and then if that's true, then we can go ahead and map around it. We can map the products. So by saving this here, I'm going to go back and do the same thing I was doing earlier. So I'm going to click view product, and again, you see we get the product details. But if I click on this back button for the browser, there's no error. So we resolved that. But again, this resolves this back button, and also the backlink, which I haven't added yet to the product page, which would be here. But it resolves it over here too. So if you do see that, it's because you have to add this condition here in the shop component. All right, let's where we at? Okay, so Go in here, fetch product with useSelector. All right, we took care of that, and we saw that we were able to display it using JSON JSON stringify here. So that's working. Let me go remove this. And next is, and this is actually the part where I was mentioning. So now we're going to add the go back button with on click handler using history prop. Okay, so here in our return statement, I'm going to remove this dummy text I had, and I'm going to add a button, give it a class name of BTN light, and I'm going to add text here that's going to say go back. And you see we have this little button here. Let me see. Section here. Actually, let me for this section, allow margins for both top bottom and the sides. So remove that Y that was there and just do M-4 to give us some margin on all sides. There you go. So that gives us some breathing room. Another thing I want to do is give this text a blue color. I want to change the color of the text. So we can do that with, let's do text primary. All right, no, that's not what I want. Text primary. Let's see here. How to change that? Okay, let me use bootstrap color, bootstrap text color. Yeah, every once in a while I forget and have to go back to the documentations. All right, so yeah, text primary. Didn't I do that? Text primary. Oh, no wonder. Yeah, because I added I placed it on the wrong tag. It's supposed to be here on the button. There we go. Save that. Go back. There we go. That's much better. And remember what I was saying is that now that we have this link here, if I click go back, oh, okay, well, we didn't add any direction for it to go anywhere. All right, but now we'll get there though. So now add go back button with on click handler using the history prop. All right, so let's go ahead and add an on click. So if it's detected that the user clicked on here, we're gonna do on click and handle that with a method called handle go back button. That, save, and here we're gonna create our handle go back button. And what we want to do here is make use of this history object that I destructured from here. All right, now history has a method called go back. All right, so it is a method, so you have to put these parentheses like this to execute it. And by doing this, if we go back, let's see, refresh this page. If I go back, there you go. So it goes back. But also, we have the view product button on other pages, such as the home page, right? So if I go to the view product from the home page, not the shop page like before, so click view product and then I click go back, you see it goes back to the home page, not the shop page. So here if I'm going to view product from the shop page and click view product, click go back, now it redirects me to the shop page. All right, and the reason why I'm mentioning this is because initially what I was trying to do before I set this up earlier is instead of a button, I was trying to use link, and you know that link I was doing like this. So I was making use of the link tag using React Router, and then you know React link comes with a to property or attribute, which you have to give it the path that you want to redirect the user to. So if I did like this shop, which it was working, it was going, it would go back, but it would go back to the shop page no matter what component page I was on, whether I was on the shop page when I clicked on the view product, or if I was on the actual home page when I clicked on the view product. So that's just something to take note of. So to resolve that issue, instead of using a link, use the button. Use button and create an on-click event listener and use this inside your event handler. History, go back. All right. Did I miss some? What is it not defined? Oh, there we go. Lowercase b. All right, so let's see. We should be almost done here. Yes, add go back button with on-click handler using history prop. Okay. And what else? Check if products exist in condition before rendering in shop component. Otherwise, error occurs. All right, so this is what I was mentioning earlier because we saw the error earlier, so I took care of it right then and there. But I was referring to that whole to that condition inside our shop component over here, where you want to add that products condition, check if they exist, and then at that point you can map. All right, otherwise you're gonna get that error. All right, so we took care of everything here. So I guess the next step is to actually right here is to start taking care of our product details and display the image and all the other details that come with that specific product. All right, so I'll see you in the next lecture.